start.
I ain't the kind to wear a tie. Button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done.
Are you recording?
Yes.
I have always been talking to you. It's fun.
I'm simply unprofessional.
Pat whispers the song while it's
Shut up.
I know he does.
I'm allowed to, goddammit. I'm the fucking host.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know you were going. Cricket.
in here.
Good evening, everybody. As is 90% of the time that we have Ross on the show, people talk during the intros, it seems.
Whenever Ross on the show, we get completely off the rails, but that's okay. He brings us back to our roots. He brings us back to the roots of being simply unprofessional. Because I feel like this podcast sometimes gets a little too professional to be simply unprofessional.
I mean, the show has sounded more and more polished as it's gone on. It sounds like a real show.
Listen, the only thing I ask, the only thing that I try to do is to make sure that the intro music can go through uninterrupted. The outro music, I fucking gave up on the outro music. People talk all through that. It doesn't even matter. If I notice people aren't talking through it, I'll start talking through it. It doesn't even fucking matter anymore.
Then why should the intro matter?
Because the intro has words. The outro doesn't.
It's fine. You know what? And we have the guy who wrote the intro here. He doesn't seem to care. So why should we?
It's not a good reason.
That is as good a reason as I need.
So before we started recording, Devin, you mentioned some game that you want us to get on Steam or whatever.
I was saying we should get Killing Floor 2, and then we should get the new Halloween Horrors Monster Masquerade thing they have for it. 6-player co-op zombie slaughtering mayhem. And now they also have 12-player versus survival mode too. Now you can be the Zeds, but I don't care about being the Zeds. I just want to survive with you and kill a bunch of zombies in brutal and horrible ways.
Yeah.
It's on sale for a grand total of $9.89. And I don't think
I don't think I can afford that.
I can it should be on sale hopefully till it ends October 29th. It'll be on sale till Friday. I got you. I'll buy it for you. We playing this because we need to get back on our streaming at some point anyway.
Yeah, for real.
Nope.
Cheeky's gonna get very upset with us if we don't.
I know.
She's gonna become very disappointed. I'm gonna double check right now. My mic is not muted on OBS. Neither is yours, so everything seems to be all right as of right now. So
another debacle as such as that.
Fucking hell, man, that sucked. I hate that's the second time out of 80 plus episodes.
Now recording.
Fuck you, Craig. You know
that was loud.
Yeah, that's Craig now.
Why'd you bring Craig in? Just because I want to be safe.
I hate you, Craig.
Yeah, me too, but he works for now. So
yeah, out of 80 some odd 80 plus episodes of this, I've only fucked up 2. So I mean, I guess that's not that bad. You know, I didn't have a bunch of people doing a bunch of backups, and I'm not as strict about making sure that I have backup, which I probably really should be, but I don't know. Whatever.
That would be too professional. If we had backups and redundancy, that's too professional.
Yeah.
Eventually, it won't matter because I'm slowly but surely, which by that means I asked Patrick about it like 5 months ago and never brought it up again. We're going to try to make this into a live radio show at some point.
Yep.
So
nice.
We're working on that.
Fuck it. I don't even know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it.
We can do it like Wildfire Radio. There's ways to do it.
As long as we can still record the radio show and still release it every Friday.
Yep.
For podcast listeners. Sure, I don't care. Let's do it.
Wildfire Radio also puts up podcasts. Also, we play your shit throughout the week, so why not?
I had something else I wanted to say. I don't remember now.
You wanted to say I'm beautiful today.
Oh, no, well, you are. You're beautiful every day, Damascus.
You're also beautiful.
Devin, have you recorded your bumper thing for our upcoming charity streams?
No, I told you I wasn't going to do it unless asked. No one asked me.
Oh well, John said he was going to be getting on people about asking about doing
Yep,
it.
and I'm not one of those people. So
I did it the other night. I fucking hated it. I hated every minute of it.
I'm
So
not one of
Ross,
those people,
I
so-
tip my hat to you, Ross.
What are your bumpers? What are you doing for
So
bumpers?
okay, so essentially what we got to do is we got to record a video of just us reading from this fucking script that John wrote. Now I even halfway through this, I stopped mid recording and I was like, what the fuck does this sentence mean? And then I was like, this sentence doesn't make sense, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to re-record it. And I changed the whole script. Because it just didn't suit my style of like how I talk naturally.
Which John doesn't
Yeah.
care usually.
I can hear myself through one of you. I don't know who it is.
It's probably me. Let me fix that real quick.
It's very, very it's very, very light, but I can hear it just a second after I stop talking.
You shouldn't have any more.
Yeah. So in any case, Ross, so that's all it was. Is I just had to sit here and talk into my webcam and say this script, right? Just a page or two script, right? Real short. Just telling people about our upcoming charity stream in Christmas. It's for our December one. And I fucked up so much, and I fucking hate recording. Like, I could record podcasts. Like, you throw me into a D&D game and say, yeah, we're recording this, I'm game. Throw me into a fake game, whatever. Throw me into any game and tell me we're recording. All right, let's do this.
I don't like the way you
It's
said
simply unprofessional. Any day, any time. It doesn't matter if I just fucking woke up. If people are like, hey, let's do a simply unprofessional, I got a topic idea. It's like, all right, let me just get on my computer. I'm good to go. Right? Recording by myself, talking to myself was fucking nerve-wracking to me. I don't know why. And
There's
like
something about it, yeah.
I know you do it a lot, being a musician, and you have to record all your stuff, and you sit in your studio or in your space, and you just sit there and record by yourself. I tip my hat to you. Like, I know on some levels, I guess it's different because you're performing something. You're doing something other than just talking. But still, that's I don't know.
You have to remember back in a couple of years ago when I was working for New Hampshire Public Radio, not only was I doing live on the air stuff, but I would also pre-record breaks. So you're listening to The Moth on New Hampshire Public Radio, and then you'd play a little commercial thingy, and then you'd come back. And support for New Hampshire Public Radio comes from you, our listeners, and from the law offices of Orr and Reno, and blah 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 blah. And you go into your spiel and read the underwriters. So you record those. You record anywhere from 30-second to 2-minute breaks. And the faster you can finish them, the faster you can go home. So
Right.
Naturally, you mess up a lot.
Right. Yeah.
And being the perfectionist that I am, that means I kept going back and re-recording. And it's like, oh man, I said that word weird. Like, did I say it right? Nah, it's a little off. I'm gonna go back and re-record it.
Well, see, with these bumpers, I know that they're being edited, they're being spliced together. So, like, it's going to be like one member of Distractions Media saying one line, and then it cuts to another member saying their line, which is the next line in the script. So, I know that it's going to be cut and edited by somebody. I don't remember who. And so, like, I would always pause between each sentence just to give them a good cutting point, even if I fucked up. And like almost in between almost every sentence, I was like, you know what? Whoever the fuck's editing this, I'm sorry. This is a big jumbled pile of shit. And I just kept it going for like the whole however long. I think it was 4-minute recording for a fucking 30-second bumper. I messed up so much. I hated it. I did not like it. Yeah, that was my spiel.
If you ever need a pinch hitter for voiceover stuff, just give me a call and I'll record whatever for you.
Well, that's the thing. So like, I've done, I guess, quote unquote voiceover stuff, right? So like, Tamara had a thing for our fake game, her character Lilu. she had this story where she was retiring her character, but she wanted to wrap up the story of her character, right? So she wrote out this big long thing, and she wanted me to play a couple parts because I played characters involved in her character's life, right? And I actually put forth the effort of like I played. Okay, you're gonna laugh at this, Ross. So I played a character named Bob. Go figure.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I named him Bob. And
As you should.
so I had to play Bob, and then I had to play Old Man Bob. Okay, so I actually put forth the effort of doing like my impersonation of an old man voice, the best I could anyway. And they said it came out good, so I mean they were happy with it.
But give me a little bit.
I
of
don't
Old Man
I don't
Bob.
want to. I don't want to.
Give me a little old man Bob. Give me a little old man Bob.
That's pretty much what it sounded like. I stressed my voice, but like recording that didn't phase me. Like I was getting into a character. So like I was able to put myself into a different mindset, whereas this I'm literally just staring at my webcam, reading a line, feeling stupid.
It's wild. When I was acting, when I was doing plays and stuff like that, I had no problem. I could just, like, as shy as I am, like I could just jump right in and do the thing in front of people, and it was just fine. But music took me forever to get comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
For whatever, like I think it is. It's a matter of kind of like wearing a mask, right? You're not being yourself. You're being a persona. Even when I'm doing stuff like this, or when I'm performing, even though I am me, there is like a level of performance going into it. Your version of yourself,
Right.
even if it's authentic, it's still your performance mode.
Right. Yeah, and I mean it just I don't know. I guess it's odd for me. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I mean you explained it perfectly. But yeah, I just have to like
Good, yeah.
I have to get into a character to be able to feel comfortable recording shit, whether I'm by myself or not. But I don't know. Just it's unnerving, and I tip my hat to the people who do it all the time. Like John does it. John does it all the time, and I mean I tip my hat to him. And I'm sure he does his fair share of fuck ups too. But it's just like Jesus. It didn't help that I watched Austin's video before I recorded mine, so I was already on the verge of like laughing at all of his fuck ups. So
Karma.
yeah. And then I fucked up a lot, and I blamed it on watching Austin.
I was just doing what he did.
Yeah. So that's all right though. I'm not editing it, so I don't care.
You don't have to worry.
But Devin, you should totally do yours.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm bringing it up.
I know what you're talking about.
All right. So this week, Ross, you might be a little bored right here at the beginning.
Nah, he's cool. He's a trooper.
This week we're like we discussed last week. We picked out a movie on Netflix. Me and Devin. We went and watched it, and we're going to talk a little bit about the movie, give our opinion of it, and then we have a special treat that we're going to dive into at the end, and we're going to try to create our own horror movie, and in doing so, we're going to try to create the first ever Simply Unprofessional horror movie killer, like the official horror movie killer of SU.
Yep. Answering the simple W questions: who, what, where, when, why, and then of course how. It's not W questions, but you get the idea.
Yeah. So I actually have a couple reference tools and stuff for like the build when we go to build the horror movie or whatever. So the movie we chose to watch was Bedeviled on Netflix. Devin watched this before I got a chance to, and then I walked into it with Devin's knowledge of telling me that there is a couple jump scares, but other than that, it wasn't too bad of a movie. The reason why I had asked him prior is I'm a wuss. Okay, people. When it comes to horror movies, I don't handle things very well. I tend to get in my own head about things. That being said, this movie really wasn't that bad. There was like 2 scenes that got to me, like that made me jump, and then one scene that just was very unnerving, and I started yelling at Devin about it. Like, not at him because it's his fault, but just screaming in capital letters through text messaging at him while it was happening. So this movie essentially starts off with a child, or like a teenager. She seems pretty melancholy, I guess would be the right word, right, Devin?
Yeah.
She's left alone in a house. Her mother leaves, says like, "Hey, you got dinner in the oven, whatever, I'm leaving." And then she starts hearing sounds, and she goes to investigate, and she sees like this demon in her house. What appears to be a demon.
Now, let's go over all the stupid white girl shit first.
Well, I mean, didn't all the stupid white girl shit happen throughout the entire movie? I mean,
well, let's go over this particular, like this opening kill.
Okay.
Set up the stupid white girl shit for the whole movie.
Fair. That was one thing I loved about Devin was, before I even got a chance to watch the movie, he's like, dude, there's a lot of stupid white girl shit. I was like, yeah, but that's in every horror movie, because, you know, the college blonde who, so no, someone's breaking into my house, I'm gonna go run and hide in the attic where there's no fucking escape route.
That happened in this movie. The bitch ran up the stairs.
Yeah, she went to the upstairs.
Like, why would you run up the stairs?
Yeah, so she went downstairs to investigate. I think
not her. I'm talking about later in the movie. The other chick.
Yeah, but this chick ran back upstairs.
She did. But let's cover this right here. We don't hear a brother. We don't hear from her having a brother or anything like that the whole movie. Anything about her really, like her having a younger brother or anything. Let's start with this. First off, she doesn't even attempt to turn on the lights.
True. Yeah. No, I was thinking that too. I was like, who the fuck just sits there alone in the dark? And then I looked around my house.
Alone in the dark?
No,
and then her
Devin...
mom like opens the fucking door and's like, "Oh hey, I left the fucking spaghetti in the fridge or like in the fucking stove. You call us if you need us." Never see the fucking mom ever again. Whole goddamn movie.
No, but Devin, the second I thought that, I was like, "Oh wow, who the fuck just sits alone in the dark in a dark house?"
You're like stupid white girl shit.
No, I turn around, I look around my house. My house is like a fucking cave. I don't have lights on in my house. It's very dark in my house. And I was like, shit.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah. So she's sitting there alone in this big fucking house. And then she starts walking down the hallway. I'm like, all right, the bitch doesn't reach for a light. That's fine. All right, you probably should reach for a light if you're just walking down your house. She hears a noise. She's just walking around her house. I'm like, if I hear a noise in my house to investigate the noise, I'm going to turn the lights. The lights don't work. I'm grabbing a flashlight. You know what I mean? Something. Then she's walking down this house, and I'm like, this is a barren fucking house. Like, there's nobody here. Like, there's nothing here.
Yeah, it's like an 18th century mansion.
Yeah, it's like there's no pictures on the wall. There's no personality anywhere. Not a fucking vase. Just like there's other rooms that are open and like empty.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck kind of house is this? Like, why are you?
It's literally like they just moved into this house or something. Yeah, but then we realize, then we find out that this chick's been here forever. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so she's just walking through this like stupid empty house. I'm like, okay, we never hear from her mom again. Her mom's like, oh, call if you need me, and then like just dips out. And I'm like, call you where? Like, are you leaving the house? Is there setup? Are you in the house? But then she gets to the fucking kitchen.
Well, see, call if you need me. Dinner's in the oven. Me is parent code for I'm going on a date. I won't be home till tomorrow. Don't fucking call me.
Right. Which is fine. Okay. But then she walks into the kitchen. Keep in mind, there's like this house is not lived in. There's no mention of a brother. She walks into the kitchen, and this fucking little wooden toy car rolls up to her foot, and I'm like, there, right fucking there. You're too fucking old to have this wooden toy car. You don't have a brother. Your mom didn't say, "Oh, hey, watch your brother." No.
It was like one of those old school pine car derby cars that we used to build, Ross.
Rolls up and hits her in the foot. And then she just stands there looking. I'm sorry. If I'm in a dark ass house and unprovoked, a fucking car just rolls up to me and just like bumps into my foot, I'm gone.
Dude, if I'm alone in a house and it's dark and anything fucking touches me, I'm swinging.
I'm swinging or I'm out. One of the two. I'm running or I'm swinging. One of the two. I'm not just standing there and picking up the fucking toy car. You look at the fucking sheet in the damn living room as the thing just fucking starts standing up in the middle of the dining room table.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you dumb. You real dumb. Then she runs back upstairs. This thing's chasing her, casually fucking chasing her, up the stairs. She gets to her room.
No, she doesn't even make it there. She just makes it to the end of the hall.
She gets to the end of the hallway where her fucking door was. And then she like tries the door one time and then just gives up on life.
Yeah, she turns around. And then
she, turns the knob once, it's like, oh, it's not open. It just turns around and just sinks down on the floor.
And then from the quote unquote killer's perspective, it just sees her give up at the end of the hallway and then it just quickly zooms in on her like it rushed down the hallway. And that's essentially the opening of this movie.
And then it literally cuts to like
her funeral.
Her funeral and like body bag and shit. Like, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So the rest of the premise of this movie, I'll tell you the premise, and then Devin can get into more stupid white girl decisions. Is these friends of this person who died, all get an invite on their cell phones from an application from their dead friend. Okay. Now, they chalk it up to, her account must still be active, so it just auto sends out invites, right?
No fucking app does that.
Well, And so they download it, and it's supposedly this AI program called Bedeviler. Right? Bedeviled, whatever. Yeah. And this thing is supposed to it's trying to show you how cool it is because it knows your name, it knows all of your favorite stuff because it's quote unquote connected to your social media. And then this one chick's like, oh well, what else can you do? And he's like, oh, say lights off. And so she says lights off, and her fucking lights go out. I'm sorry, your lights aren't connected to Bluetooth. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, right there. That exactly. Dumb white girl shit number 2.
She's like, oh, that's neat.
She's like, she questions it. She's like, how did you do that? And it's like, and he gives her some half-ass answer, and she just accepts it. Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
No.
So everybody who has this app slowly starts quote unquote hallucinating. They'll start seeing things, and then essentially what it is the app. We find out later what it is, but the app increases and feeds off of your fear and essentially drives you to the point of fear where you have a heart attack and die of fright. That is the premise of this movie. Okay?
Yes.
So, Devin, why don't you go into a couple more dumb white girl things?
Let me think. Dumb white girl thing number 2.
I will say after watching this movie, I will never trust a red bow tie again.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see here for a second because I watched this the other day, so I'm trying to get my mind back on it.
I will say the one part that got me as far as a jump scare was in the locker room where the guy looked in the mirror.
Yeah. Yep.
And he saw the clown, and then he turned around and nothing was there. And then he looked back at the mirror, saw a clown, turned around, and then it was like some creepy clown nurse. It was like a different clown.
Yep.
That freaked me out. It got me. It was mainly because it was like a really sudden noise at the same time. To me, it's really sudden noises that get me, not necessarily like a scary picture. Like those stupid things where it's like, oh, look at the center of this like swirling image, and then like they show like the Exorcist face pop out. The Exorcist face isn't what freaks me out. It's the loud screaming that accompanies that gets me. So,
which is fair.
Yeah. And then the other fucking part that really got me was the grandma at the end.
She was kind of fucking creepy.
I don't like grandmas apparently.
I mean, I don't think anybody really likes grandmas.
I don't trust dead grandmas who aren't really dead. Right, Ross? How's that?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about Captain Marvel because she punches an old lady in the trailer, so you know that's going to be good.
Yeah, but does she turn into a dead grandma who then comes back to life? Because that would be
She's going to
freaky.
punch her again.
I guess. Yeah, maybe.
So, all right, back in the movie in the dumb white girl shit. And by dumb white girl shit out there, everyone, I'm not being offensive. Even the guys do dumb white girl shit in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just dumb white girl shit. No offense to
Hell,
anybody else.
the one black guy who I was rooting for the entire movie does dumb black person shit.
He does.
It's true. Man,
It's cool.
I loved how he punched that homeless dude, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure he was real.
I would say this.
I would have done the same thing.
Spoiler alert, he fucking dies at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
However, he's the only one to actually fight back.
Yes.
The only one who actually took a swing.
Yeah. True. True statement. I like
Everybody
how
else gave up on life.
I like how he made that stereotype near the end of the movie, and he's like, hey, if this was a horror movie, they're doing it wrong because I'm still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to fucking kill him. I really thought he was out of the woods.
He tried to pull a Tez, but he didn't have his black card on him.
Yeah, that's true.
He used it earlier, so he couldn't come back.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, next fucking dumbass thing that happened. So, after everything we just kind of described of the black guys on the fucking bus one night.
And they're all seeing their own version of what freaks them out.
Yeah, they're all seeing some and the black guy has
the quote unquote main girl.
People.
Yeah, the main girl keeps seeing her grandmother.
Yeah, her grandmother.
The black guy keeps seeing white people.
Like white people and like just creepy shit. Like he actually sees Mr. Bedeviled more than I think anybody else does.
Yeah.
But he sees him as like not so much like a disfigured creepy clown. He sees him like a weird like white guy wearing a bow tie.
Yeah.
Like imagine like a demented Pee Wee Herman with
right.
long ass claws. That's kind of what he looked like.
The brunette chick kept seeing her teddy bear or some shit.
The fucking teddy bear.
And then the Asian kid kept seeing that one Asian lady, the drowned Asian lady who died in the well. She was all soggy and whatnot. It was gross.
Mm-hmm.
It was gross. It was like if Swamp Thing had sex with an Asian lady.
That is one part that did get me. The fucking picture.
Yeah, where it came closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was looking at the picture. He looked away and looked back. And it was like slightly closer. You're like, did that just move?
Yeah.
Like, because I was on my phone and I was like watching it. I'm like, did that move? I'm like, nah.
And then it was like just a big face.
And then you're like, oh fuck, it didn't move.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for this movie. Like,
yeah. So all across the board, everything we just named. Black guy has that happen to him with the bus and then him being chased through the fucking like. The app chews him out and gets super racist on him.
Oh yeah. Okay, I laughed on this. Yeah. He's like, hey, I'm kind of hungry. Give me the number to the closest pizza joint.
And it's like, oh, pizza's closed. Like, really?
All places serving pizza are closed. All right, well, how about Chinese food? All places serving Chinese food are closed. He's like, oh, really?
How about a burrito?
Yeah, all places serving Mexican are closed. How about chicken and waffles?
He's like, whoa, that was kind of racist, but all right.
He's like, all right, serve me some waffles and chicken. He's like, I'm not your bitch. He's like, wow, whoever made you is a mouthy little prick.
Yeah, pretty much. And then right after that, that's when he starts seeing the scary shit. He gets off his bus, starts walking. He gets chased.
Yeah.
Punches a homeless guy. So that happens. And then, like, at this point in the movie, I forgot all the little small detailed shit, but everybody starts having weird shit happen to them.
Yeah.
Like the other guy had the issue with the phone and the fucking like clown in the locker room, like you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
And then they all meet up after all the weird shit happens. And they're talking, and they start having a hard time believing this fucking app is there something wrong with this app? They have a hard time believing it. They're like, well, no, that couldn't be the case. And it's like, you fucking do realize, like, the app is not right. You realize this, don't you? They're like, oh, it's clearly like a hacker or somebody who like has the phone or whatever. And then like he's like, you know what? Fuck it. He throws his phone down, stomps his phone out, and cracks his phone.
And 2 seconds later, it's perfectly fixed, lying on the floor.
Yeah, it's perfectly fixed. Oh, here we go. And the Asian guy, he went to the dance hall to see his girlfriend, who's there supposedly, and she's just fucking standing there with his back to him. So she gets over to him and goes to.
She turns into that creepy fucking drowned lady.
Yeah. And then he starts seeing her everywhere. He drops his phone and runs, and then he goes to sleep. The next day, he wakes up and his phone's next to him.
Yeah.
Like his phone's just back in the room. Like they can't get rid of their
Ross,
phones.
weird shit's happening, is what we're trying to tell you.
Weird shit is happening. I just FYI, I'm watching the movie right now, and I'm scrolling through. I'm watching the.
All right.
I watched the intro. I agree with everything. I'm watching the locker room scene right now. He's like, he just had an issue with this. The phone did the flickery thing and on the app, and
now he's
and
gonna he's gonna look up at the mirror on the wall. He sees somebody.
Yeah, there's the mirror.
Yeah, that was a little jump scare that got me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for the jump scare part.
Yeah, you'll see.
Here, he's turning back around, and it's right behind him. Ah, there she is.
Yeah,
oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So we do find out throughout the movie that this app, they decide that they're going to track down the last person who had it before their friend got it, who got killed.
And the black guy is super techie. That plays in later, so that's why I'll mention it.
Yeah.
Like the IT guy of the group.
Right. So they track down the other person. They break into their home, that person's home. They start snooping around. They go into I did like this scene where they're...
Let me interject with more dumb white people shit, though.
All right.
They've come to the conclusion that the app is trying to fucking murder them. And instead of playing the buddy system and everyone staying together, safety and numbers, they decide to split up in groups of like 2 and 1s and so
yeah,
1s and 2s. It's like, why don't you all just fucking stay together? Because you obviously don't care about school because you're not fucking going. We've seen you in school one time. Oh, I forgot. And why the girl was in school? She's like drawing fucking like demented trees.
Yeah.
Remember she was like drawing that demented tree?
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
so they walk into this garage and they get taken back by a smell, and they're looking around, and then almost at the same time, they're both like, oh. And then it pans over to the room, and there's just like a dead body sitting in a chair underneath a white sheet with like a red stain on it. I don't know. That response, they just found a dead body, and their response was, oh. The next part really bothered me, and I had to text Devin when I saw this. They found some old school like recorded tapes. They went analog instead of digital. This guy figured out what was chasing them. Now this app is actually a ghost that can travel through digital media.
But then doesn't he warp the tape anyway?
I think the tape began to get warped, at the end. But so he had a theory on how to beat it and how to, get past this and stuff. The whole time they're listening to this analog tape recording, they're both just sitting in this garage. God knows how bad that stunk. Both of them sitting on either side of this dead body. Why not take the tape and listen to it somewhere else?
Yeah.
I did not understand that baffled
sorry,
me.
like he's dead. Fucking drop kick the dead body and like put him in a corner where we can fucking see him.
Right.
You're gonna stay in there. You fucking drop kick that dead body and move his ass out the way.
So I believe I don't remember his name, Claude or Clyde.
Cody.
Yeah, Cody.
Yes, Cody.
He came up with a plan after pretty much all of their other friends died. That you can't just uninstall this app because it continuously starts changing, and it's like a really bad virus or something. But if he could lure the ghost into our world and then run this program that he finished, then it should successfully remove the app from your phone. And therefore the ghost shouldn't bother you anymore. So they went to this abandoned-ass warehouse, and...
Well, before that, their other 3 friends got killed.
Yeah, I glazed over that because I don't care. Like, the other friends,
The other friends
are dumb.
They all died awful and dumb. So, The Asian guy and the other girl, because I forgot their names, because they're not that important. Fucking Dan and Haley, fucking like made a sex tape. Mr. Bedevil uploaded it. Then fucking he wound up leaving her house. He tormented her and wound up killing her via teddy bear.
Yeah.
And Brandon went back to his house. And that was when he was looking at the picture. Fucking that happened. He saw the fucking bloated ass lady from the well.
Yep.
And he backs up into his kitchen and again just gives up on life. Like
Yep.
there's like a knife block behind him. There's fucking chairs. I'm like, do something. Somebody in this movie, pick up a chair, knife fight, whatever. Like if you're gonna kill me, even if it doesn't work, I'm going down swinging. Like if I know I'm gonna die anyway, I'm going down swinging. Like I'm not just gonna stand there. I'll pull a knife out. Like, right now. Right at this moment. If I look to my right and Michael Myers is standing in my doorway, I have a pocket knife in front of me. I'm going to try to fight him. I'm going to die.
If that's your only way out of the room, sure. But I've seen that guy get shot, and he's still...
But I've also seen him get stabbed and be stunned, so I have a chance to stab him and push.
If there's anything I've learned about horror stuff, is just make sure you have a steady supply of pallets and just drop a pallet on them.
A steady supply of pallets, and don't look back, because every time you look back, they get closer.
And never use a flashlight. Flashlights do nothing.
False. Anyway, I have a window right next to me, so I could jump out the second story window and hopefully not break my leg, and then just slowly crawl away to my car. But I don't have my keys to get in my car and drive off. So
see, I'm fucked. Ross, you'll understand this. The windows in my house are pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big guy. I'm not crawling out of any of my windows. So, and I only have one fucking way in my house. That's through my front door. So, if like a weird serial killer came walking through my front door, I gotta go through him. There's really no other choice. But I have plenty of things to try to do that. So
you grab your mace.
I have that. I have a baseball bat right next to my desk.
You grab the mace.
So,
yeah. But I mean, if I'm in a situation and I knew I'm going to die, I'm going out swinging.
Yeah. So, yeah, all their friends fucking die. Stupid.
Her boyfriend died really dumb.
Yeah, being chased by clowns.
Well, not only that, like, he fucking knows shit's going down at this point. They all know, okay, this app is trying to kill us. It's not right.
Yeah, okay, that is true. He gets a call from Alyssa or whatever, the main chick's name, Alice, who's his girlfriend, and says, I'm really scared, come over. So he does what the good boyfriend should do, and he goes right over. Okay. Yeah. I don't fault him for that. He gets into the house.
It's one line she says that I follow him for.
No, yeah, it's coming up here. He gets in the house and he calls her and he says, I'm here, you know, where are you? And she says, come closer. Nope. Nope. The lights were on in the house too.
Right. Until he stepped closer.
Fuck that. No.
And then it was like nighttime.
If I ever, you know, if I was in that situation and the voice on the other line just said, come closer, I'd be like, fuck you, bitch. You get your ass out here where I can see you.
More importantly, I would have called like, hey, I'm outside.
Right?
Like, I'm outside. And she didn't answer. I would have opened the door. Alice? All right.
Oh, you ain't in here? All right. I guess I'm too late. I'm closing the door.
The bitch is dead. I'm out.
I'm out. All right. So back to the main thing is they're in this warehouse. Do you have more dumb white people shit?
Question, because like you were talking about the part where they found the body in the garage before and they were listening to the audio tape.
Yeah.
You didn't mention, or at least I didn't get the impression, they are sitting
next to
side.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Both of them are sitting on either side of the body.
Yep.
Middle of them, and they just sit there next to him. Why would you even do that?
Nope, I don't know. I said that.
White people should
take that shit somewhere else.
Exactly. I thought they were in the same room as the body. It's like, okay, well, yeah.
They were literally sitting on either side.
Nope, dumb white girl shit.
They were sandwiching this body.
Up next to him, they were like touching. They were touching thighs.
Oh yeah, no, this wasn't good. It's stupid. This movie is so dumb.
I'm like I'm scrubbing through real fast without the
Yeah.
sound on. But this
Yeah,
movie's
no.
dumb.
This movie's
Oh,
dumb.
it is.
So
It totally is.
we're just gonna skip to the end here. We've already been talking for 40 minutes. They lure the ghost in. It starts going after Alice. He runs his program, and right at the last second, it finishes. Alice no longer. She's being chased around this fucking warehouse by her grandma, which was freaky as fuck because she's like down on all fours, like running around.
Mm-hmm.
And then she no longer sees the grandma. Right? She tells Cody, yeah, it worked or whatever, and he starts bragging. And I was like, oh, dude, that's not what you do in a horror movie. You're signing your own death warrant now, buddy. And then it starts coming after him. And she has to get to another terminal because they had another program set up to do the same thing. And she starts running it, and it's 25%, 48%, 67%, 80%. 97%, and then it gets blocked
Because he has like some updated firmware.
He had high tech firmware
like he was
installed
like,
on his phone.
he was a tech guy. Like, oh, people never hack my phone because I updated my phone. I'm like, why don't you can't fucking hack your own damn phone? So
right,
you're dead now, bitch.
so his own intellect killed him.
And then he just had a moment. He was just like, "Yep, I'm dead. It's cool."
Now, what I don't get is, if it's not on your phone, then this ghost won't come after you.
Yep.
But you'll still be able to see it if it is around.
That was just, I guess, for dramatic effect.
Okay, because she did see like the
She saw it
fingers
for like a
curling
second.
around.
I'm
yeah.
guessing it was just for dramatic effect.
Yeah. All right. So her last remaining best friend's dead, and whatever. So it cuts to black, and then it comes back, and she's at school. She went off to become a writer. And she's FaceTiming or whatever the fuck with her mom.
You know,
and
mom.
I'm just like, oh great.
Yep, pretty much. It's like, oh, you dumb bitch. Like,
and her mom's doing laundry, and then all of a sudden at the end of their conversation, she just goes like, cold spin cycle, and then you hear the washer turn on, and she's like, isn't that neat?
And she's like, Mom, how'd you do that?
Oh, I got this new app on this phone.
App, Mr. Bedeviled or some shit. And she's like, Mom, no.
And then it cuts to black.
Turn off, and then it's like, okay, all right.
So essentially, that's the movie.
This is my question. Like, where the fuck were the parents this whole movie?
Who the fuck
Like, there was
cares?
never a funeral for any of these other dead people.
Nope. It all happened too fast, and no one cared.
Yeah, pretty much. I think
No
that
one
was
cared.
it. I don't think anyone cared.
I think the parents made the app to get rid of their kids.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you may be right. Like, you're like, you fucking running up our phone bill, you stupid.
I will say the one saving grace for me was the fact that the lead role,
She was kind of hot.
the girl who played Alice, was pretty hot. You might think that's whatever. I don't
Shallow.
care. Shallow. It is. There was literally there was nothing else this movie had going for it.
That's what the depth this movie deserves. So it's all.
Well,
good.
I think it's also important to remember that it's not the actor's fault if there's a terrible script.
Right.
You know.
True. Now, Ross, you were breezing through this movie while we were talking about it. Now, I couldn't place it, and then I thought I did, and then me and that spurred off a whole nother conversation between me and Devin, and then we just never came back to it. The main actress in that movie, she looked familiar to me, and I know she was in movies like the new Poltergeist movie. I hadn't seen it, and I looked up her IMDb. She was in a couple other movies that I had never seen.
Have you seen Lucifer?
Nope.
I don't know what you saw then.
So as I started watching this movie, it started dawning on me. She looked to me anyway like a younger, but pre like cokehead Lindsay Lohan.
I can see that. Yeah, she does. I can see the resemblance. Yeah. Okay.
And then that comment, I made that same exact comment to Devin, and Devin's like, "Well, I don't know, trashy Lindsay Lohan's pretty hot too." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm more of like the Mean Girls, Herbie the Love Bug era."
I agree. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm really happy you didn't say
Parent Trap."
Parent Trap Lindsay Lohan.
And then that spurred a whole nother conversation that we just never came back to this bedeviled bullshit.
I just want to point out the special effects. They got really lazy at the end. I was just watching the scene where the dude dies at the end,
Yep.
and like it's the really Joker.
Yeah. It's not
And
good.
like the eyes are just like horrible.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh! Like it's
Yeah, no.
like I want to be scared by it, but I can't.
What?
be
No,
because
it's
like,
you can't.
terrible
It's
is
dumb.
this?
It's really dumb.
So I'm looking at the main chick's IMDb, and this movie sounds awful. All right. So
Worse than Bedeviled?
I'm
I
gonna
Spit in Your
read you-
Grave. I've seen that.
Yeah,
It was
I don't
not
even like
good.
how it's. I hate how it's described. I
Nope.
Spit in Your Grave is a 2010 American rape and revenge horror film.
Yep. No, it really was.
Is that even a genre?
It is. Yeah. It's not. I'm pretty sure that's probably the only one in that genre.
No,
No.
there's
Well, no, it's a remake.
Yeah,
20
that's true. Of a
22,
70s movie. I did look
fucking
that up.
Six Guns,
So-
apparently.
So, Devin, hold on.
American Mary.
Hold on. Devin, I Spit in Your Grave. I watched this with friends of mine. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I did not like the movie.
Okay.
Now, I did watch the entire thing.
Okay.
The first, a little less than the first quarter of the movie is your typical girl drives out into the country, meets some really weird hillbillies at a gas station, drives out to a cabin. She's out there to just do some writing for school or something. She just needs solitude or whatever. And then the hillbillies start busting into her house. The next quarter to 2/3 or so or whatever of the movie is literally them just taking turns raping her, which was literally stomach turning. And the last, I'd say probably half of the movie is her finding the most grisly, gruesome ways to kill these fucking people. Which, all right, I mean, I gave her a thumbs up on some of the ways she did this, but still, it was like, I don't know. I'm not much for like gory type movies either, but this got like that. She did have some interesting ways to do it though. Like she tied one guy to a tree, and this was the one guy.
I'm kind of reading right now.
I think this was the one guy. This was the
trap.
No, maybe, but this was the one guy who didn't take a turn at her,
Matthew, apparently.
but watched everything. He watched everybody else. So she tied this guy to a tree, peeled back his eyelids and held him there with fish hooks so he couldn't close his eyes, and then smeared like fish guts in his eyes so the crows would come and pluck his eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's some fucked up shit.
Jennifer then drowns Andy and burns his face
Acid.
horribly in a live bathtub.
No, it's not even. She doesn't even drown him, right? She has him hung over lengthwise on a bathtub. His chest is on a board, like a pine board or something that's laid across.
Yeah, and she pours lye on him or something.
And then the bathtub's full of lye, and then so she pulls the board out from underneath him, and he starts holding himself up. But think of the point that he's holding himself up is on his thighs, and he has to hold the weight of his whole upper body up. And she just sits there and looks at him and says, "You're gonna tire out eventually." And then as she walks out, you see him and he starts struggling, and he gets closer and closer and ends up fucking melting himself.
Nice.
I think the last one's the roughest though. The sheriff was involved. I know that.
After the live bathtub, next she uses pliers to pull out Johnny's teeth, and a pair of garden shears to cut off his penis, leaving him to bleed to death. After killing Johnny, Jennifer visits Storch's family, posing as their daughter's new teacher. She takes her daughter to the park, and when Storch tracks her there, Jennifer knocks him unconscious. When he wakes up, Jennifer anally rapes him with a shotgun, reminds him that she was just infant his own daughter. He attaches one of the ends to a string of the trigger and the other end to the wrist of the unconscious Matthew, who is seated in front of Storch. When Matthew wakes up, his movement triggers a shotgun, which fires around that tears through Storch's body and blows apart his face. Nice.
Yeah, and
it
hits the guy in the chest who's in the chair. So that was two birds with one stone sort of situation. It was not a good movie. Like I did not enjoy the movie. I would never watch it again. Like
understand
they made a sequel.
Yeah, they made a sequel. I mean, I don't know how they got a sequel. It was a $2 million budget, and it made $572,000.
I don't know. What were you gonna say, Ross?
Passion project for somebody. I understand the
3 of them.
appeal of the revenge fantasy. Like
Right.
I can see that. I get that. But I haven't seen this movie, but I've heard of it and plenty about the original, and the extent that they go, especially adult, is just like it's just more than is required to get the gist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, anyway, so that's our little talk about Bedeviled and a little bit into, I guess, some other works that the main actress girl is in. Devin, where do you rank this? Now, okay, keep in mind, people, we decided for our criteria for the movies for the month were just not well-known horror movies. Okay? So, I mean, before our criteria were they had to be below a certain budget and they couldn't have earned X amount of stars on IMDb, but we found that was really kind of narrowing down our field of being able to find movies. But, so we just went with less known horror movies. That's why we chose these ones. Devin, where would you rank Bedeviled? Like, what would you give that out of 10?
Well, sitting at Bedeviled right now is sitting at a 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb. And I would probably say it falls right around there, about a 4.5.
Yeah, I could probably give it about a 4.
About a 4.5. I think it sits right around there. 4.3 is not a bad rating for it.
I understand that I didn't watch it properly and couldn't give it necessarily a fair rating, but it was bad, but it didn't seem offensively bad. It seemed kind of like boring bad. Like I had to scrub pretty far in order to get to anything that actually happens. Like it's a lot of them just kind of standing around.
Yeah, when I described it to Webby, I told him, I'm like, imagine a CW produced horror movie or like a sci-fi produced horror movie with just jump scares. Like that's kind of what it is. Like
yes.
Like it's like a made for TV horror movie, like or MTV horror movie. Perfect. MTV horror movie minus gore because it's on like prime time. Like a MTV horror movie
with the amount of dumb white people stuff that they did in this movie, I'm going to give it like if it was a Lifetime horror movie. Now that joke fell on deaf ears. Fuck you all.
Oh, okay.
I laughed.
Fuck.
Lifetime movies are pretty good.
Yeah, but not Lifetime horror movies.
Hey, you.
Anyway, would you recommend other people for this movie? Like, would you recommend this movie to other people?
I think you can totally just skip it. You don't have to watch it.
Fair. Yeah, I would probably say the same thing.
If you want to sit down and waste an hour and a half, and I don't mean like wasted necessarily a bad way, like you just need to have some if you're folding laundry
and you just want to have some sort of horror movie, yeah,
go for it. Like it's not a bad use of your time, but I wouldn't seek it out and like devote an hour and a half to this movie.
Yeah, don't make popcorn and get cozy on the couch just to watch this.
Truth.
Yeah, don't make it your night. Your Netflix queue is full of much better movies right now. Like seriously, just go down the list and watch anything else.
Or if you wait till the 12th, the new Netflix horror show's coming out.
So, Devin, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor here.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll me a D3. However you want to do that.
For the next movie?
Yep.
I have a wheel. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You saved the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to re-roll?
I mean, what'd you roll?
I rolled Cube, but...
I mean,
I know Cube is I really like Cube. Cube has really bad and overacting, but it's so bad it's good, but the actual plot itself is good.
I'm not going to lie. I would prefer to do Cube the one after next. Let's break up the monotony of terribleness.
What have you watched already for this series?
Bedeviled. That's all we've done.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Okay, this is it. Okay. This is the first in the series. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh God.
So the next movie.
Terrifier.
Okay. That was my pick. So we went one your pick, one my pick. All right, and then it'll end up being we'll probably end up doing Cube next week.
Oh, God. A maniacal clown terrorizes 3 young women on Halloween night and everyone else who stands in his way.
Now, okay, so I did watch the one reason I chose this movie. Okay, I didn't want to just go, oh, clown, stereotypical evil clown, blah blah blah. I did watch the preview of this movie, and the one thing that threw me off on this is the clown looks 100% like a fucking serial killer, but like he acts like a mime. Like in the thing, I didn't hear him talk at all, but he does like giggle and like laugh. Like he does try to smile and stuff, which is just even creepier. So that's why I chose it. So next week we're going to be doing The Terrifier on Netflix. For those of you who want to watch it and join us and listen to what we're going to be talking about next week. All right. So
Ross, you jumping in next week again too?
Oh,
If you're around.
is this on Netflix?
it is.
It is.
All of these movies are on Netflix. We wanted to make them easily accessible. Oh, Ross is talking, but I don't hear anything.
I'm just ughing.
Oh.
I'm just going ugh.
Well, you know, one night or one day or whatever, when you're not busy, you can always just come over. We can both watch it together.
That's probably going to be the better way to do this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you not like horror movies
This is-
like clowns?
Just,
this
I
is
don't
like the first week back, and we've got lots of classes, so we are both just like really exhausted. We spent about 5 days driving across the country, and then jumped right into teaching a bunch of workshops.
Oh.
So
That'll do it.
yeah, I'll do it. So after this week, I think we'll be a lot more social.
Okay. Well, we're not
Yeah.
doing this until next week sometime. So. So okay, moving on to the next topic is we're going to be creating our own horror movie here on SU. And then the end result is we're going to have our very first official SU killer. So let me pull this up here. Now that I can pretty much exit all of this bedeviled bullshit. All right. So I have three things to kind of help us make this if we need to, Devin and Ross.
I don't need any help. I've already got our horror theme.
Whoa, okay.
Concept.
Now hold
I'm
on.
ready. I'm
Here,
ready.
let's make
Now,
this
hold
a
on.
brain trust.
I don't understand what that means.
Basically, we're gonna pick the first aspect, and we're just gonna go around the table, and one person gets to name one aspect, and one person gets to name the other aspect, and then we just keep going around in circles. We have
Okay.
like a hodgepodge.
Well, let me just tell you guys what I have pulled up, and if you guys don't want to use any of these things, I'll just close out of the tabs. First, I have a website that are 13 steps to making a horror film. So it has 13, I guess, essential things you need to make a horror film. The next one is just some like weird quiz thing. It says make a horror movie and we'll guess your deepest secret. But it essentially tells you, it gives you a list of like location, where's your movie going to be taking place, blah, blah, blah. And then the last one is create a horror plot in seconds. And it's just kind of like a generator.
Let's do the 13 and just go, and we each get to answer one.
Okay. You good with that, Ross?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, let's see. I don't want to go first, so
Ross is a guess. He can go first.
I'm going to say whoever can guess closest to the number I have in my head
17.
can go first. I'm going to tell you it's between 1 and 5 or 1 and 10.
All right, 13.
You can't choose 17. It's outside the parameters.
Fine, heard.
So Ross, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
5.
Okay, Devin, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
3.
It's 5. So Ross guessed it. He gets to go first. It's always 5.
Yep.
Pick
All
a
right.
main character. Hero. You're all right. I'm going to read the thing.
Oh, how the hell did you know what I had?
Your hero should be an average person, but part of a typical social group.
It's the same exact
The typical
website.
hero is a college student. Think like Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream. They usually work on their own, like a babysitter from Halloween. So yeah, babysitter is always a good way to go, but it's definitely been. What is something similar to a babysitter job where you'd be alone? I mean, I suppose a night watchman.
Yeah.
Like, what if security guard?
House sitter. Then you're literally watching a
Yeah.
premises, not people.
Yep, the house sitter duty would be good. Kind of like that. Hey, let's see.
A tutor.
Somebody who I like the tutor, but tutor you're dealing you're in the room with other people. The dog walker, you're going and taking care of dog, like that's kind of the house sitting component and stuff like that. So you're going into strangers' houses to walk their dogs and feed their dogs while they're away.
Now, see, the one thing, I mean, ultimately this is your choice, but keep in mind, whenever I watch a movie, if I watch a movie and a dog dies, I never want to watch that movie again.
Dogs. What if the dogs are the well, we don't have to kill dogs.
Like Cujo. Well, that's why I'm saying if you're gonna go with the whole like dog walker thing, we gotta be careful how we pat this movie around.
How about this?
Because like I won't even watch I Am Legend with Will Smith in it because of the fucking dog scene.
How about this?
What?
A school janitor, like working after hours to fucking prep school.
But do we want?
Well, see, that's the thing is if we're going off this list, then we kind of need number 4 to work in number 1. But although we're just looking for a hero right now. So it can be, the location can be anywhere. It's just a matter of we just need some information on this hero.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You want to be like a school janitor, you want to be
Ross?
I'm sticking with the dog walker. I'm
Okay.
sticking with it. This is a person. It's either a college student or just fresh out of college. And they've got this they're in college and they've got this job, and their job is because they've got to be a student so they can never go to school at all in the movie.
Right. Yep, exactly. Male or female? I don't know if I heard you, Ross.
Female.
Female?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
And do we have a name for said female?
Victoria, and she's going to veterinary school.
Vicky the vet.
Vicky the vet.
Victoria vet school. Vicky the vet. All right.
Am I taking the next one?
That's a pretty good name too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Devin, you get number 2.
All right. Pick a sidekick and make them bicker and compete. All right. A good story has a hero, the main character, and a sidekick. The sidekick starts the story as the hero's best friend, but partway through the story, they betray their best friend and oppose the hero and what they want. Horror films also have creepy children of the corn, or children who are corrupted by creepy characters. Mama. You know what? How are we feeling about this? The dog is her sidekick.
Oh, I like this.
The dog's her sidekick. It starts off, the dog is one of the problem dogs that she has to walk. Like everyone fucking hates walking the dog because he's just a terror to walk. He doesn't listen. But once shit goes down, he has her back.
Yes.
I like this. So I'm gonna say
she's committed to him too. Like she's kind of like she's determined.
That's
to
her
make
fucking paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's her paycheck. She needs
but like food too, right? Like she's not going to vet school just because she cares about animals. She sees the value in all animals, and especially this dog, like who's just misunderstood, and everybody gives this dog shit, but she's not going to give him shit.
And you know what? To go along with a misunderstood dog that takes shit, it's a pit bull.
Yes.
It's a pit bull. Let's call him Roscoe. You cool with that?
Yep.
All right. Pit bull named Roscoe is her sidekick.
All right. 3. Pick a universal moment. A universal moment is an event that many of us will have experienced, and when in a story becomes something your audience can relate to. For example, being alone in a house from Paranormal Activity or Night of the Living Dead. So just a universal moment.
I have an idea for this, but you go ahead. It's your category.
Well, I mean, we are kind of brainstorming together.
Roscoe, the problem dog, needs to go out for a walk. She takes him out late at night. He breaks off his leash and goes into X location,
Well,
which
see,
could be the number 4.
I was thinking something like that. I was thinking that she brought him to the dog park, right? Because she walked them from the house to the dog park because there's a dog park kind of maybe nearby, or even she drove him to the dog park, and the dog got into a scuffle with another dog, squirmed out of his leash, right out of the collar, and bolted into the woods. So then she had to go into the woods to get him.
Yes, because I mean, I think that is a universal moment when you're at a job or you're doing something at someone else's house with someone else's stuff and you fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh man, there is no worse feeling than that. Someone's dog runs away. Like
Yeah.
this isn't just like you broke a vase and shit.
No,
I'm gonna have to
yeah.
pay for that
This
vase.
is somebody's
This is someone's
dog.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
I like it.
So dog runs into woods. Into woods. Vicky gives chase. All right. 4, Ross.
All right, so number 4 is pick a location. We've kind of done that, but let's read through and see if we can add a little bit more specificity to this. Cheap movies are shot in one location. Pick a big house or factory or any building you can get a hold of on the cheap. Black out all the windows so it's dark and evil looking. For added effect, water down the floorboards so they glisten in the candlelight. Another advantage of the single location is you can block the exits so the hero can't escape. So do we want to maybe focus on one particular house in one neighborhood? Like,
well, see, I don't know, because, like, what do you think would be worse? To me, I have a feeling already. But if you're in a house, and say, even if your exits are blocked and you can't manage to escape, do you think that is worse, or being lost in the woods?
Lost in the woods all day long.
Yeah, Lost in the Woods is worse.
So, I mean, maybe we don't even need a house in this for the main premise.
That's the swerve. It starts off in the house. Oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be another like a house horror movie. Nope, it's fucking
Right.
Lost in the Woods.
Right. You know? And I mean, it's really up to us. Like, even if, okay, they ran into the woods, are they going to end up running into a cabin in the woods or another abandoned place up in the wood? I mean, what if they just don't run into a building at all? What if it's just the woods?
All right.
Although,
What
at the
about
same
this?
time, I will give you food for thought. At the same time, we don't want another Blair Witch Project.
I have an idea for what the killer could be, too. We can get that.
Well,
later.
think about this. Let's stick with the wood. I really like the woods, but let's say this is like in a big cul-de-sac. So like a big enclosed neighborhood. There's one road that goes in, and then it makes a big old loop, and it goes out back onto the main road. And in the middle of that cul-de-sac is like maybe just a patch of trees, like fairly big. You can't see to the other side, but you know that the road is just right over there. But when this incident occurs and the dog runs in there and she runs in looking for him, it just keeps going.
Oh, so it's like maybe the woods, there's something weird going on with the woods themselves.
Yeah.
All right. So
So like physically, she knows. Like if we did a crane shot and we looked down, we could see a patch of woods, maybe like 100, maybe 50 yards in diameter or something like that at the most. At the most. No, much smaller than that. You get the idea, right? It's a very small space. She goes in and the woods don't stop, and she turns around and it's woods both ways.
it was never ending forest. So cul-de-sac, a patch of trees in the middle there. Think, for the people who maybe don't know what a cul-de-sac is, think of like the letter P, and then right in the circle part, that's where your patch of woods would be. And then when you ran into that, it's just forever forest. It's just, you're just automatically lost in the woods. And no matter which way you go, even if you think you're walking in a straight line, you just don't reach the road. I like it. I already am scared of this movie.
I'm already creeped out.
All right, Devin, number 5, I think we're on.
Yep, pick an inciting incident. An inciting incident is an event near the beginning of the story that creates the drama and kicks off the story. Inciting incidents can be macro, like an epidemic in Shaun of the Dead, or micro, like the death of a daughter. Don't look now. Building on the fact, since we used the universal moment of the dog getting loose, which kind of set up this, which could have also been this moment, I'm going to say this. She's in the forest, wandering around. And question, this is a mystical forest. Is this forest is impossibly big? Is it just going to be an endless sea of trees, or is there going to be like shit that shouldn't be there? Like she's walking and there's like fucking, like logs over streams and shit like that shouldn't be there. How are we doing this?
I think anything that will intensify how wrong everything that's happening is
okay.
Probably good.
Okay.
Yeah. So like you could have like a down tree over like a small like a stream.
That's
and then like
thinking.
In the background you could have like an old rusted out like refrigerator that's like open and just somebody just like dumped it there. I say that because we have that out behind my house. I was just anyway. Yeah.
I like that.
Just like random junk that people just like dumped out.
Yeah, I like that. Like shit just got lost here for some
reason. Exactly.
Actually, you know what? Yeah. So as she's walking through these woods, she's kind of like she has her phone, and her phone, she's using her GPS to kind of supposedly guide herself through these woods, and she's kind of has her phone, and she's trying to get a signal. It's going in and out. She even makes a call to someone. It connects for a second, and it just disconnects on her again. And as she's walking, she's looking around, and there's just like fucking abandoned shopping carts, and there's like fucking clothes and weird shit. There's like a refrigerator, like you said, and then she gets to a part where she's kind of walking.
It's all really old.
There's old shit, like from the 50s and shit. Like she's walking, and there's this moss-covered down tree over what looks to be like fucking like a rapid stream. Like that shouldn't be there. So, and the inciting incident is as she's walking over this log, she actually slips and loses her balance, and she falls into the stream and blacks out. She wakes up a few hours later, and the stream is kind of nowhere in sight, and she's just kind of washed up. She's still wet, but she's just kind of washed up in like a clearing of trees in the middle laying here. Her phone's waterlogged. Her clothes are fucking wet, and she has no idea what's going on. So that's my inciting incident.
So hours later, she comes to in a clearing, or just
like a small clearing. Like imagine she washed down this stream into like a small like pond or lake,
and she's alone.
But there was no pond there; just like an empty ditch with like trees around her, and she's alone.
Can I make a suggestion to add to that a little bit?
Okay.
Just what motivates her to cross the stream? Should Roscoe be on the other side? Like that's the only reason she attempts to.
Oh yeah.
To do this.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't even hear it. You just hear barking from that direction.
Yeah, she hears barking from that direction, and that happens, and then she wakes up. Or even better, how about Roscoe's licking her and waking her up?
Oh,
Or at least
you want Roscoe to be with her when she wakes up?
Yeah, Roscoe's the one that wakes her up. Like, so she's all wet and like in this clearing, and Roscoe walks over and he's licking her, waking her up, or at least what we think is Roscoe is licking her and waking her up. And that is where she's at now. So now she doesn't have her phone. She's lost in this forest. She's as wet ass clothes, and she found Roscoe. So she's
got her best friend back now. She's got her sidekick now.
But now she has to get out, and that's where that will be the tonal shift of the movie. Sound good?
Okay. So she's crossed the stream because she heard Roscoe. Okay, so I put walking in the woods, phone signals in and out. She's looking around. There's junk and trash and clothes and stuff just kind of smattered here and there. And then there's like this old ass moss-covered tree laying across the stream, and she starts hearing dog barking. So she crosses, slips, falls, hits her head. Undetermined amount of time later, she wakes up to Roscoe licking her face, cold, wet, and in a small clearing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Man, I'm fucking Roscoe's back. I'm like, my heart's already like slightly lighter. Like I was like, oh man, she's got the dog now. things are looking up.
It feels like we should definitely play on this. Like, is the dog going to be okay sort of thing. Like we should really like lean into that, you know, because like that's always my first concern when I see a dog in a movie or a cat in a movie, any animal. I'm like, oh shit, I hope they don't kill the cat, you know.
Now, all right, so here comes one of I can't believe they're having this one do this already, and plus I don't necessarily like the wording of this, but number 6, pick a ghost. Good stories need to have a ghost. Ghost is an event in the past that the hero still fears or is ashamed of. Oh, I get it now. Each genre treats ghosts differently. In crime stories, ghost is referred to as personal crime, something the main character did that was wrong, and which will still causes them embarrassment or pain. In horror stories, the ghost takes on a physical shape and must be overcome by the hero. Make sure the ghost is painful to the main character, not easily overcome.
How about a small recommendation idea you can take and run with it, because I gotta dip out for like 1 second to use the bathroom. But since she's a veterinarian, she really likes animals, so she's against hunting and whatnot. How about it's a mysterious hunter, like a dude in like a hunting garb, kind of almost like a ghillie suit.
Well,
like a bow or something, and he literally is just trying to pick her off, and that will be painful to her because is like this dude covered in like what looks like animal intestines, but like a ghillie suit made of animal intestines.
Well, see, I'm interpreting this as mainly picking a memory.
Well, no, it says in a horror story, the ghost takes on a physical shape and must be overcome by the hero. So it could. No, I think the ghost in this case in a horror movie is like the actual antagonist.
Oh.
I think we can tie it in. We can take that idea and also tie it into the memory, like something that happened to her or something that even she did when she was younger. I really like the hunting idea, and maybe she was with a group of friends when she was younger, or even with her father when she was younger, like out hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Something terrible.
Here we go. Her father was a dick. She raised a pig, and one day her pig was gone, and her father served it to her for breakfast.
Well, that's not really hunting. That'd be a farmer thing.
It could be both, but I got you. Or she befriended a deer in the forest, and her dad shot her. But I'll be right back. You guys go ahead.
All right, we're gonna talk about this till you get back. So, Ross, what if maybe she growing up, like her family was big into like the whole hunting and outdoorsy kind of life, right? And even she hunted when she was younger. But then when she was really young, there was an accident, and maybe that caused like the death of her father, which was such a traumatic moment that caused her to steer away from never wanting to hunt again. And it was so traumatic that she even took the turn into wanting to help animals and become a vet.
Yes. Um, what? What was the accident? How did she?
See, I'm thinking that it should involve something about like they came across an injured animal, and her father was trying to teach her the importance of, well, this animal's not going to survive here. It's in pain. You need to put it down.
Oh, yes.
And
Yep.
and something happens where maybe she tripped and fell, and the gun came up, and her dad got shot, and he survived, but then like the wound became infected or something, and he ended up dying later of that gunshot.
What if?
Maybe not necessarily died outright in the woods, because if she was that young, like, well, then she'd get into a bunch of trouble.
If? What if they were? What if they were out hunting, and a bear that was injured?
Okay.
And here's where the dad says, "All right, like it's clearly suffering. We need to just put it out. Misery." She can't do that. Like but she can't, and she try and help it and to save her, and the bear takes a swing.
Okay.
What? Okay. Yep.
You started to cut out there at the very last second, so I need you to repeat that last part.
Okay. So they come across a bear. The bear is injured. Either the father wants her to put it out of its misery, or just to maybe even just like pull them away. Like we shouldn't mess with that. She rushes in because she's got to help this animal. Dad comes in to pull her out of the way, and the bear takes a swing. And
Okay.
because she was trying to help.
So she rushes in to help. Dad steps in to interject. Bear swings and kills the father.
But I kind of like the idea that you had where he died of complications later.
All right, so we'll say and severely injures father. They flee the woods. Father seeks medical attention. Dies via complications / infection. Okay. So that's her memory now tied in with the past. Now, what this physical manifestation could be? Now, do we want it to be? Oh, what if it's a guy wearing like a bear pelt?
It's a guy. How about this? It's a guy wearing a bear pelt. But when she fell down, she actually hurt her ankle. So she's effectively an injured animal, and he's just this guy in this bear pelt is trying to put her out of her misery, put her down.
So she. Oh.
Ooh, that's a twist. Ooh, that's a twist. So
That is very nice.
Ghost is man in bear pelt seeing that she's injured, wanting to put her down. All right. Ross, you get to do number 7, I believe.
Right. This will be a tricky one. Pick a nightmare is number 7. Nightmare is the thing in the future that the hero is afraid of, and it is so powerful that it prevents them from getting what they really want. So I imagine that this is going to be a combination of the physical threat of this bear pelt man, and her memory of how she's
Well, I mean,
of her past.
Perhaps this nightmare could be like she kind of now has an irrational fear of larger animals, so she only deals with certain things, and like being unable to deal with all animals is preventing her from essentially becoming a vet. You know what I mean? Like she can't help all things. She's comfortable around things like dog size or smaller, but
Maybe she flunked her horse test.
right. Just larger animals, like more physically imposing animals, or even just if you get a more any animal that's skewed towards the more violent nature. Like if there's
Or maybe she just has a phobia of bears, and like so seeing him in this bear outfit, like fucking, she actually freezes and like almost can't move at times.
true, but see, I'm reading this as too like this is somehow preventing her from achieving what she wants in life, being her like vet goal.
Or she freezes now when it's time to make quick decisions, like life or death quick decisions, because the last time she did, it got someone killed.
Oh, that's not a bad one.
I like that a lot because that's gonna come into play in a lot of ways in her regular life.
She constantly second guesses herself now.
Yeah.
So constantly second guessing.
I'm sorry, Webby.
Choices.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Due to the bear incident. All right, Devin, you get number 8.
Pick a trap. I think this is actually easier than.
Fuck me! Why do I get number 9? Fuck!
I thought I was sorry, Webby.
No, I got a workaround for this. Don't worry.
Pick a trap. I'm gonna say. I mean, given the fact he's running bear count, there's gonna be just traps all over this place. There's bear traps. There's on the ground.
Trip wires that fucking trigger like the big logs that swing down from a fucking tree.
Yep, shit like that. There's going to be a bear like swinging a tripwire that's like triggers a fucking swinging bear trap.
Oh yeah, dude, that's fucked up. That's great. All right, so the traps.
Or even not like a swinging bear trap, like it fucking just drops straight down, like bear trap in the face. But like, there's swinging bear traps. There's pitfalls.
I'm just gonna write under my notes in all capital letters. Traps everywhere.
Yup.
Also, like the idea that the bear that they had found when they were younger was trapped in a bear trap. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
So we got pit traps, bear traps, tripwires. Tripwires triggering bear traps, etc. Exclamation point with smiley face. All right, number 9. Okay, I got this. Watch, ready?
Okay.
Pick the moment the sidekick dies. First off, I get to pick the moment. The moment's not going to happen. Let's kill the hero. Let the sidekick leave. Okay, in horror movies, the hero confronts the physical ghost, and in the confrontation, there is a struggle which causes the death of the sidekick. Pick this moment for maximum dramatic effect, and the moment that cause the most guilt and remorse in the main character.
I fucking have one.
If I do too.
I'm going to say this. Is it I know we're going for a horror movie, but to you two, is it possible that we choose a moment where the dog becomes severely injured?
Cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I want to hear Devin. I want to hear Devin's idea because
I want to hear what both of you thought because both of you had ideas for this. I'm not okay with this.
So idea, as going back to what I said in the higher up right there with like the swinging bear trap, he fucking trips the swinging bear trap and the dog goes into action and literally just runs up and pounces her from behind, kind of pushing her out the way, and the dog gets caught in midair by a swinging bear trap. So she watches something else she loves again dies via fucking bear trap in front of her.
All right, Ross, what was your idea?
Okay, so I like all of this, and I think my idea will work well. Her sidekick already died, but he's come back because Roscoe is a reincarnation of her father.
Well, that's a mindfuck. What happened?
Yeah.
So Roscoe died when he came in these woods.
Roscoe died when he was her father.
So now her dad is owned by other people?
I know it's weird, but yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. Now
he came back because he.
What if Devin?
Webby.
Okay.
I got it. Just.
Well, I was gonna go off of your idea too.
No, same idea, but I'm gonna ask you to trust me on this. The trap kind of catches him, kind of like back towards the rear. And I'm going to leave it at that. But he is definitely hanging there from this trap. Let's go with that. I'm going to ask you to trust me on this when we come back around to after we go through the whole list. Trust me on this. I'm going to write the ending to this movie that you're going to like.
Okay.
He also has to say as the like he's hanging in the bear trap and Bear Pelt Man is coming to kill him. Roscoe has to say, "If you strike me down now, I'll become more powerful than you can imagine."
Now hold on. Okay, I had an idea. I wanted to run this idea by you guys first. Now, Devin, you say maybe like she triggers a trap. The dog is aware of this and ends up getting her out of the way, but ends up getting hit himself.
Yeah, literally like
now,
the dog. Like her dog are running.
What if, because I think this might even be more traumatic for the hero, what if, going back to her backstory with her dad, the dog triggers a trap. She runs, shoves the dog out of the way, narrowly misses the trap herself. Now thinking, okay, I saved the dog, only to find out that her shoving the dog shoved him into a different trap, and she caused the dog to, like a bear trap, kind of like how she caused her dad to get fucking mauled by a bear. Is that something that you could work with?
Yes, I could work with that, or I would the same kind of thing. She shoves the dog out of the way of the trap, and when she does, it's like a ground bear trap, or it's a bear trap, but it snatches her clothes. It like snatches her jacket or her clothes, so she's caught, and she sees the guy coming, and then that's when the dog kicks into action. So like she tries to save the dog, but fucks up, and then puts herself in danger. So the dog has to then save her, and the dog kind of basically takes a bullet for her to get out of the way. So she gives her enough time to escape and run. So all we see is the dog, like the guy aim his rifle from a distance and shoot. The dog jumps, dog gets hit. Then right after that, she has enough time to kind of like rip her jacket off and run. But that's the last we see of the dog for right now. You good with that?
Okay, well if the dog's
or I mean, if you like your trap idea, that's fine too. Either one works. If you want to do the trap idea, that works too. That works fine with me.
Well, no, I like the idea of like the hunter, the bear pelt guy, being pretty much coming at them, and then her needing to make the choice between save the dog and get caught by this guy, or escape and try to come back for the dog, hopefully. So
Here's I mean, if that's the point right there that she's at, she's going to be paralyzed by that, right? This is a life or death decision. She has to make this big choice.
yeah,
And that's like her big flaw is like she
Right,
can't.
and that's what I was saying. She kind of freezes up at that moment. Like she freezes up, and then that's when the dog kind of leaps into action himself and fucking takes the bullet for her, and that snaps her out of it, and then she bolts. You on board with that?
Okay.
Like she's
How
got
about
like
this?
like,
This is
she's
gonna
got-
get kind of elaborate, but I'm gonna go based off your idea.
I mean, hold on. Before you get really elaborate, with it, I'm very much okay with the dog triggering a trap, her pushing the dog, thinking she's saving him, and push him into a trap. I'm fine with that. Or push him into some type of harm. Like there's a fucking like a jagged fucking tree or some shit.
No,
Or whatever.
okay, I got this. Okay.
Well, there's
Okay.
also the element of like, even if she can still feel the guilt of like being carelessly walking into a trap that the dog saves her from and gets himself stuck. She should have been paying attention, and he wouldn't have had to.
Right.
Now,
There's guilt in that situation as well, without getting overly complicated.
Now, what about this? So they're walking through these woods, right? She notices the dog trip a tripwire, and at the very last second, she notices like it's kind of like a board with a bunch of like jagged wooden logs or whatever sticking out of it, like it's falling from up above. So it's essentially, think of like a bed with nails just coming down from the opposite direction. You know what I mean? Coming down on top of you. She reaches under. She dives and shoves the dog out of the way. The trap lands on her arm, and you see her wince, and then she opens her eyes, and the logs were going through like a couple logs came through her sleeve, but otherwise it missed her arm, but she's now stuck, and she looks over because she starts hearing things in the woods. She sees Bear Pelt Man. The dog races around, starts trying to tug on like her pant leg to get her free. Ends up tearing part of the cloth, but he's getting closer. She's frozen in fear. The dog moves up to try to like lick her face to break her out of this. Boom, takes an arrow.
Oh, whoa!
Like
Okay.
right in front of her.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm good.
Okay. So I fucking hate saying all that. Dog.
Trust me.
I know, I
Dog-
do.
The dog takes an
triggers-
arrow. It's like lower back area. Like he takes an arrow lower
Dog triggers
towards
trap.
hindquarters legs.
Hero saves dog. Narrowly missing trap. Gets stuck. Stalked by killer. Freezes in fear. Dog shot with arrow. Breaks fear. Then she runs.
Yep.
Runs before caught. Leaving dog behind. I'm already tearing up, guys. Come on. All right, number 10, Ross.
All right, number 10 is pick the confrontation. The confrontation that causes the death of the sidekick is the climax of the movie. It is a do-or-die confrontation in which the hero must overcome the ghost or else suffer the direct consequences. There are different types of consequences. Physical, for instance, the hero could lose their life. Social, they could lose their place in society. Or psychological, they could have their core beliefs challenged to the point where they can no longer function as normal and healthy human beings. So, I mean, that was a pretty big confrontation right there. She has started to book it.
Yeah. So the whole point, like the whole time up to this point so far, she's been on the run.
Yes.
She's been on the defense. This is the point where I think she needs to now go on the offense.
Yeah. Yep.
I think she realizes that maybe this is some sort of like fucking weird mystical jumbo that's fucking making this woods all weird, but like if she doesn't confront this guy and beat this guy, she's not making it out of these woods regardless. Maybe confronting this guy she thinks is the only way out of the woods.
I get it. I got it. All right. Here it is. So she escaped. The dog gets hit by the arrow. She turns. She rips herself out. She jumps up and like all of a sudden she can move. She runs. She just books it and she hears the dog whimper in the back and she keeps running. She keeps running and she knows that something terrible is going to happen if she doesn't stop running. She's just out of the woods. She's back in the neighborhood. It's daytime. About it. The dog is still in there. She's just kind of like in a daze. She again decides that all right, she's got to face him. And I didn't do my job. And she turns around and walks back in.
Okay. Devin, what are your thoughts and ideas? Because I know you had a big lead up for like the end of this.
You know what? I think she runs out. I think she runs out. Because this has been kind of a benign movie so far. I think in terms of like horror aspect and killing and getting killed, I think she runs out. And like I said earlier, like she got a phone call through to a couple of her friends, and she runs out literally and almost run into them on the road. And like they fucking like heard like two other friends are in the car coming to go like see what's up because she called them frantic earlier. So they fucking pull up and they see her being all frantic and they're like, what's going on? They see she's injured to some degree. And yeah, no. So then she kind of explains everything going on to them and says, there's a man hunting me, blah, 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 blah. There's somebody out here in these woods. This is a problem, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think that's what we do. Like, and then she's like, no, we need to, I need to go back in there. We need to get back in there. I can't leave him. I can't leave someone else to die because of me again. You know what I mean? So then her and her friends decide to go back in. And then that's when the hunter starts kind of picking them off kind of one by one, leading up to this final confrontation.
Okay, do they arm themselves before they go in?
Yeah, like I would just imagine, the guy, maybe her friends are fucking, hunters or some shit, or I don't know, or whatever, or they have some weapons of some kind.
They're jocks, so they have like sports equipment in the trunk or in the back of the truck,
like shovels or baseball bats or something along those lines. They have some shit like that in the back of their car. I think that'll be pretty solid.
Decides she can't keep running from her fears.
I mean, that was Ross's. You go with that, Ross?
Yeah, totally. No, that sounds great. I do have an idea too. Like as soon as Pat writes this down, I want an idea because the body count is terribly low for a horror movie, and I've got kind of a creepy idea that might do something.
So she's going back in with her friends. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To confront Bear Pelt Man. And then essentially all of her friends start getting whittled down one by one,
Mm-hmm.
various ways.
Yes.
Um, obviously,
Very
some
like
are going to
Cool.
die
very
in
akin to
traps.
very Rambo. Like yeah, traps and akin to very Rambo
Right.
esque. First blood
All
esque.
right. Now, Ross, what was your thought?
I like the idea that like the one guy with a gun like dies immediately as soon as he walks into the forest. Like he walks straight in
Oh,
and
sure.
like
I want to say
right
like
in
the
there.
biggest, like most impressive looking like jock guy, like the one who you think, okay, if it came down to a wrestling match, this guy could probably take on the bear pelt dude. The second they get into this forest, he immediately hits, like triggers some trap and fucking dies. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, this whole fucking place is trapped. You guys need to fucking pay attention." Like that's why she survives as long as she does, is because now she's aware of all these traps because she's been running into them.
Earlier when she's in the woods earlier, and there are all these traps flying around. I was kind of thinking like, well, nobody's around to fall into the traps. Like the movie's over if she or the dog gets it right now. But what if there are people out in the woods, in various states of whatever. Like maybe there's a guy in like a disheveled business suit or something like that, just wandering, and nobody speaks. They're just walking around, and just occasionally you'll see someone in the background and hit a tripwire, and just
Okay.
and like just to add to the like and the first time she sees them, she's like rushing over to oh my god, help me, like where am I supposed to be, are you like where, how do I get out of here, and they just don't speak. They're just like walking like mindless husks of people, and they just like walk around like lemmings and fall into traps.
All right, I like it. Like they've been in here for so long, they've literally gone mad, and they've just kind of given up. Like
Yeah,
maybe they've already started seeing, like they've started hallucinating, so they just don't even pay attention to her screaming in their face because it's another illusion. You know.
yeah.
I like it.
I'll take it.
All right. Now I'm pretty sure that this confrontation is going to be also how she effectively literally confronts the killer and or either runs him off or succeeds in her goal of retrieving her sidekick or stopping the killer. So what do you guys think on that? Because I think that's part of number 10 is pick the confrontation.
Yeah, like how, because the next three things have nothing to do with the story.
Right.
This is where we need to figure out what the conclusion is as well. I think like I mean the main thing that she needed to overcome was being able to
Being
right, so
decisive, making a decision and sticking to it, and overcoming her fear that's been crippling her.
Exactly.
And by doing so, by making the choice of no, I'm going back in there, and essentially trying to rescue Roscoe, she's overcoming this fear. She's going to confront the bear in the woods.
yes.
Uh,
Oh, okay. I've got it. She has to be faced with like a terrible choice, right? So they're like Roscoe's gonna get it, or one of her friends is gonna get it. And Bear Pelt Man is coming right at her, and both of these she can save one. It's that, pick one and save them. And this is a place where how would you decide? How would you choose who you're going to save? But she ends up picking somebody, and as soon as she acts to save that person, to normal.
so as soon as she acts as soon as she makes a movement to go to save one of them, they're just out of the woods.
Well, I think she does have to actually go through the act of rescuing them in order for it to work, you know. But yeah, I think like they're still in the woods, but like all of a sudden, like you can see through the trees now, like you can see a house through, and Bear Pelt Man is gone,
Okay.
and Vin's decapitated body is like just 12 feet away.
All right. Or what if when she's put into that stressful situation, it's literally like you said, she needs to make a split moment decision. She only has time to save one. She makes her choice. She saves one. Everything kind of goes quiet. In the distance, the camera spins around. You can see like the neighborhoods through the trees and stuff. And then in front of her is just the bear pelt on the ground.
He puts it on and disappears.
Because that's what she saw when she was a little kid, was just the big bear.
Yep.
All right. So,
But
go ahead, Devin.
I was saying, she's pretty beat up at this point. She's gone through a lot. She's beat up at this point. She's been through a couple of traps. She's scraped up, injured, all of the above at this point. And yeah, so that's pretty much how it goes down. Just like that. I like it. Just like that is pretty much how it goes down.
Everything goes quiet. Houses seen in the distance. Bear pelt left lying on the ground at her feet. Funny. All right, I don't get number 11. I don't understand the different formulas.
Pick
for
the right
fake
fake blood formula.
blood.
I mean, yeah.
Syrup.
Whatever.
I like Emily's fake blood that she made. That tasted good.
Agreed.
It tasted kind of like
It was like strawberry or cherry syrup and some other stuff or whatever. I don't remember.
I got a mouthful of that.
Yeah. Pick the right music. Horror film
Got you covered, don't worry.
scores seem to feature low stings, children singing, or amplified heartbeats, as in the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, I think Ross Malcolm Boyd's got the fucking score for this music for this movie. Pick the film festival that debuts this movie. Fucking the only one I know is Sundance.
No,
Might have a little trouble.
There's a couple
Yeah.
of them.
Probably. Now we're gonna
fucking Screamfest.
no.
Screamfest stuff.
You know what? We're not even gonna fucking debut this at a festival. We're going straight to Hollywood with this.
Sounds like a plan to me, man.
We'll pitch it to CW.
I like it.
Fade out. Armed with this simple list, go make a movie. All right. Okay. Important movie question for both of you.
Yes.
End credit scenes. Well, we gotta have one first off.
Oh no,
I have it.
I got it.
Oh, okay, because I had one, but go ahead.
So in credit scene, it's her. This is later, like the next day, she's laying in a hospital. She's recuperating, and when basically she walks out this forest carrying Roscoe. Roscoe's looks to be very injured and or dead, or whatever the case may be. She's laying down in a hospital bed, and she kind of walks out in the road and collapses out with Roscoe. At this point, she walks in the road, collapses with Roscoe. She's found and taken to a hospital. She's laying in bed. She wakes up. She's kind of freaks out momentarily. Doesn't know where she is. The doctor and nurse staff trying to calms her down, and then she starts asking where's Roscoe? Where's Roscoe? that's kind of what she's asking at this point. Where's Roscoe? And the nurse is like, well, we did everything we could, la 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 la. And then next thing you know, you see Roscoe, and he's fucking kind of wheeling himself in. And he's on the back like wheelchair, like doggy wheelchair leg things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He got injured in the back, in his back. So he's like paralyzed
Right.
like from the back down, but he's got his front paws and he's wheeling in on those. And in comes the person, the person she was kind of dog sitting for, and they kind of go, well, Roscoe, you and Roscoe have been through a lot, and they kind of let Roscoe stay with her. He wants to stay with her, and the movie ends with her and Roscoe recuperating.
Would it be too cheap of a move for her to try and bring Roscoe back, and like the house is abandoned and has been for a long time?
Oh, she was dog sitting for nobody.
Yeah.
I had an idea. Can I add something onto your thing of these dog owners allowing their dog? They've known this dog walker for quite a while. They've known Vicky the vet for quite a while, and they've been through a lot, and they realize that Roscoe's a good fit, and that these two need to stay together.
Yep.
Then it cuts to a few weeks later. It's her in her house, sitting on the couch or whatever, playing with Roscoe, and flipping through the TV or whatever, and you don't see it at first, but in the background there's like the big sliding glass doors that go out onto like a back porch, and then in the edge of her yard is the forest, and there's just a guy standing in a bear pelt on the edge of the woods, facing the house.
It's a Force Ghost.
It's a Force Ghost. It's Yoda. And then it just immediately cuts to black.
I like it.
All right. So Bear Pelt Man may return.
Yes.
We need a name for the movie.
Hunted.
What?
Yeah, hunted.
Yep.
Yep.
How about Shit in the Woods?
Shit in the woods? Bears shit in the woods all the time. Bear Pelt Man on the edge of yard. Black. Bam! We just fucking made a movie, guys.
We did.
It's a fucking
That's
number one bestseller. So I guess
Copyright, trademark.
yes. Fuck all you
It's
guys for
official now. Sorry.
yeah, we've talked about it. It's us. So I guess officially the official Simply Unprofessional killer is currently Bear Pelt Man is the only name we got for this guy. We're gonna have to have an artist come up with and drawing some of these things. So anybody out there who's even remotely talented drawing, draw us your depiction of what you feel like Bear Pelt Man would look like. Yeah. Grizzled old dude out in the woods wearing a bear pelt, hunts with a bow, probably carries some sort of bear trap with him. Yeah, do it up. I can't wait to see these. I don't think anyone's going to send one. Maybe cheeky.
Yeah.
Maybe cheeky.
Probably not.
All right. Well, hey, I won't take up any more of your guys' time. Thank you guys for sitting down with me. That was fun. I really enjoyed making that movie. You know what? I'm more looking forward to watching this movie that's never going to be a movie than I am even thinking about Bedeviled.
Be what?
What? Fuck Bedeviled. I want to see. I want to see this fucking bear movie now.
I shit in the woods.
Yeah, shit in the woods. Fucking Ross. God damn it. All right, so let's see. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Ross, for joining us tonight. And thank you, Devin, for joining us tonight.
No problem.
Ross, where can people find you on the interwebs?
YesMalcolmBoyd.com is the best place to find me. I also have a podcast that I do with my wife, Jamie. It's called Finishing the Season. You can find us on iTunes or on Podbean.
All right. Finishing the Season, that's what it's called?
Finishing the season, yes. I think I name dropped you in the last episode, so check it out.
I'm going to now.
Nice.
Devin, where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me at darrow. No, I lied. That at DMP _ Pookie. I lied. That's old.
That's old school.
That's all very old school. You guys find me on Twitter at DMP _ Pookie and on Twitch at PooKilledMe.
And you guys can find me on the internet at the bottom of this Pepto-Bismol bottle. Just kidding. You guys can follow me on Twitter at JaxForestWalker, all one word. On
is that
Twitch.
2 words or is that 1 word? I couldn't hear you. Was that 2 words?
Pepto-Bismol, that's 2 words, I think.
Okay, cool.
You guys can follow me on Twitch at DM Webby. And Instagram at something. Oh,
Webster 52.
Oh, Ross has got it this time.
You got it this time.
All right. So as
I'm
always,
make you remember it. Like you.
Eventually I will. Eventually I will.
Enabling you by telling you every time. You don't have to remember anything. We're just gonna holler it out before you just pause for a second and someone will holler it out. You don't have to learn anything. We gotta stop enabling this guy.
You know what? I don't like your tone. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I'm playing the exit music now.
Thing to say about that.
Okay. Bear shit in woods.
Fuck Booster Gold.
Fuck Booster Gold is right. I want to say like this horror movie should have a picture of Booster Gold, like a lost, like
in the bear pelt,
like a missing person Booster Gold sign on a tree out in the woods with just a bear claw going through it. Fucking Booster Gold. He's useless.